Hello everyone, I'm Erin from WebNazer, your digital lens on everything trending. Today, we're diving into another important story, idea, or innovation shaping our world.
The sporting rivalry between India and England carries centuries of historical weight. What began as a colonial legacy has evolved into a high-performance clash between two specific strategic powers. For decades, the English women's teams controlled the global stage in both cricket and field hockey. Supported by early institutional investment and a professionalized domestic structure, they consistently secured major titles and set the international standard. During that same era, India relied on the brilliance of individual trailblazers. While talent was evident, the team lacked the consistent financial and technical backing required to challenge established Western towers over the long term. 2026 marks an unprecedented alignment in this rivalry. This timeline maps out the collision course. The ICC Women's T20 World Cup in June and July, followed immediately by the FIH Hockey World Cup in August. Over the last decade, the influx of institutional capital into India's domestic structure has closed the competitive gap. Today, these matchups are high-performance deadlocks, often decided by single-digit margins. We saw the results of this shift during the May 2026 T20 series in England. In the opening match at Chelmsford, India secured a 38-run victory, even while playing without their regular captain, Harmanpreet Kaur. This tactical map shows how India neutralized the home advantage. English pitches typically offer dangerous early seam movement, but the Indian top order used aggressive horizontal movement to intercept the ball before it could deviate, rendering the seam zones ineffective. Batters like Smriti Mandhana drive this strategy, taking control of the scoring rate from the first over and forcing the English pace attack to abandon their preferred lengths. Once the new ball is neutralized, India pivots to its secondary strength. Their rotation of elite spinners is specifically designed to suppress the scoring rate of the English middle order during the middle overs of the innings. These T20 tactics serve as the foundation for the upcoming one-off test match at Lord's in July, where tactical endurance will be tested over 4 days at the home of cricket. By combining aggressive top-order intent with middle-over spin control, India has turned English pitches from a historical vulnerability into a highly contested battleground. The tactical chess match extends to the turf. During the FIH hockey qualifiers in Hyderabad in March 2026, England's defensive discipline earned them a 2-0 victory in the tournament final. However, that loss followed a Pro League campaign where India defeated England 3-2. These results highlight a rivalry defined by alternating victories rather than a gap in skill. This graphic illustrates England's advantage, compressing the midfield to funnel possession into the striking circle for penalty corners. India's counter strategy is defensive absorption. They hold a rigid formation against the press, creating space for vertical counterattacks that pierce the English lines in seconds. Because the technical standards of both squads are now nearly identical, matches are decided by the split-second execution of these two opposing strategic philosophies. Curious, what systemic changes allowed India to close this gap across two different sporting disciplines so quickly? The primary catalyst is the professionalization of the domestic circuit. The introduction of the Women's Premier League has provided the capital necessary to upgrade training facilities and provide athletes with year-round professional environments. This is supported by a developmental structure of A-tours and shadow series. These programs expose domestic players to international standard pressure and English conditions long before they reach the senior national squad. By pairing India's player depth with world-class institutional infrastructure, they have created a high-performance engine that can sustain its position at the top of the world rankings. The 2026 bilateral series serve as direct data-gathering missions for both coaching staffs. These are live-fire dress rehearsals, where every over and every quarter is analyzed for the upcoming World Cups. This environment allows teams to beta test their depth. Managers can experiment with specific tactical variations under match pressure, while holding their primary strategies in reserve for the global tournaments. The rapid professionalization of the entire Indian domestic circuit has shifted the center of gravity in the women's game. India no longer enters these tournaments as a challenger. They enter as the primary obstacle to the global title. The stage is set for the summer of 2026. When these two nations meet in the World Cup knockout stages, they will be writing the final chapter of a tactical rivalry that has redefined modern international sports.